Hello, my name is Wijnand Boonstra and I work as a researcher here at the Stockholm Resilience Center. Today I would like to talk about a recent publication that I made together with Floriane de Boer about the historical dynamics of social ecological traps. Perhaps many of you have heard about the term social ecological traps. It's often used here at the center and it refers to situations in which people are structurally unable to adapt or adjust their behavior to social ecological changes that negatively impact their well-being. For this paper, we were interested to see if history plays a role in the formation of social ecological traps and how. And for this purpose, we used a concept which is called path dependency. And a path dependent process just means to say that the process is self-reinforcing. So it starts off in a certain direction and is really difficult to change because social and ecological events really structure the process. We used path dependent as a concept to look at 4 different case studies. I won't go into these 4 now. I will just look at only one, which is the case study of agricultural involution. It was published in 1963 by Clifford Geertz to describe the persistent poverty of rural peasant families on Java in Indonesia. Now I will show you the different phases of a path-dependent process and explain how they relate to the case study of Clifford Geertz. So first, in a path-dependent process, you will have the initial conditions that kick off a path-dependent process. And Geertz identifies wet rice cultivation and colonization by the Dutch East India Company in Indonesia. These are the initial starting conditions, and the rural trap really begins to form itself after a critical junction. This is the second phase, whereby the elasticity of wet rice production, together with colonization and the massive population growth, really trigger poverty and make it persistent. The persistence of poverty is the third phase in a path-dependent process. It becomes structural persistent, and there you could say that agricultural involution, that is Geertz's term, really can be analyzed as a social ecological trap. Often there is also a reactive sequence to this structural persistence, and that could be, in this case, the Indonesian struggle for independence, which could be triggered by the poverty in which people find themselves at the time. And this takes place in the 1930s up to the 1950s. Based on these findings and summarizing, I would like to say that we believe that history plays a really important role in the formation and emergence of social ecological traps. We really don't want to see history just as a background variable, but to look at history as a causal factor in the formation and the development of social ecological traps. So rather seeing history or a social ecological trap as just an outcome, we would like to see the whole process, the whole historical process of social ecological traps, and to try to identify when and how a trap came into being, but also when it possibly broke down. If you want to read the paper, you could send an email to info@stockholmresilience.su.se. Thank you.